I used to cry every day. Now I can walk again. That's what Lin said after waking up from surgery. 2 years earlier, he had fallen from a 4-meter ladder. The injury severed the connection between his brain and spinal cord. His legs stopped working completely. Doctors were blunt. There was nothing to be done. In October 2024, Lin saw an ad on social media from Fudan University. They were recruiting patients for a clinical trial. He signed up. On January 8, 2025, he underwent surgery at Zhongshan Hospital in Shanghai. The operation lasted 4 hours. The next day, he moved his legs. By day 3, he was controlling both legs using only signals from his own brain. Within 2 weeks, he could lift his right leg high enough to step over moving obstacles. On day 15, he walked 5 meters. There are more than 14 million people in the world today living with spinal cord injury. Every year, between 250,000 and 500,000 new people join that group. Falls, accidents, 1 second that changes everything. For decades, medicine had one answer for all of them. The damage is permanent. And that answer wasn't pessimism. It was biology. The spinal cord is a communication highway between the brain and the body. When it is severely injured, the road breaks. The brain keeps sending the command. Lift the leg, take the step. But the signal never arrives. Unlike bone, unlike skin, the central nervous system does not regenerate. Researchers spent decades trying to change that. Drugs, stem cells, direct electrical stimulation of the spinal cord, results in animals, dead ends in humans. The wall stayed up. A different question. Professor Jia Fuman from the Institute of Science and Technology for Brain-Inspired Intelligence at Fudan University stopped trying to fix the road and started building a bypass. The idea has a technical name, brain-spine interface. But the concept is straightforward. The patient's brain works. The leg muscles work. The problem is in the middle, the damaged spinal cord blocking the signal. So, what if it were possible to capture the signal directly from the brain, bridge the damaged section wirelessly, and deliver it to the nerves that still function below the injury? Not repair the road, build a tunnel underneath it. How it works in practice. The surgery implants 2 electrode chips in the motor cortex of the brain, the region responsible for controlling movement. Each chip is 1 millimeter in diameter. Smaller than a grain of rice, these chips listen. Every time the patient thinks about moving a leg, the motor cortex fires. The chips record that electrical activity in real time. That signal is transmitted wirelessly to a second implant placed in the spinal cord, below the injury site, where the nerves connecting to the legs are still intact. But here is where the real difficulty lies. The signal coming from the brain is not a simple on-off switch. It is a complex, constantly shifting pattern. Different for lifting the left leg versus the right. Different for climbing a step versus walking on flat ground. Different for each patient. The system must decode that pattern in real time, translate it into precise electrical impulses, and deliver them to the correct nerve groups, fast enough for the movement to feel natural and controlled. Professor Jia himself described the problem. If the algorithm delays even a few seconds, the patient's leg moves at the wrong moment. The patient falls. The solution was artificial intelligence trained on each individual patient's patterns, learning the specific electrical signature of that person's movement intentions before the first attempt to take a step. What happened after? Lin was the first, but not the last. Between January and March 2025, 4 patients received the surgery at 2 different hospitals in Shanghai, Zhongshan and Huashan. All had complete or severe injuries. All began moving their legs within 24 hours. And then something happened that the team had not planned for. Sensation began to return. Patients reported feeling warmth in their feet, feeling their leg muscles contracting while standing. Subtle functions, such as sensing the need to use the bathroom, coming back. This was not part of the original goals. The goal was movement. But the repeated use of the bypass appeared to be stimulating the damaged neural pathways below the injury, waking up connections that had gone silent. Professor Jia explained what this might mean in the long run. If the interface is combined with intensive rehabilitation over years, the patient's own nerves may begin to reconnect and remodel. The device becomes a bridge, while the road rebuilds itself. And eventually, the patient may no longer need the device at all. What the American FDA itself said. In December 2025, the technology developed by the Fudan team, commercialized by startup Wyraxon, received breakthrough therapy designation from the US FDA. This means the American regulatory agency officially recognized that this Chinese technology may offer a substantial treatment advantage over everything that currently exists for patients with severe spinal cord injury. It is the first medical device developed in China to receive this designation from the FDA. To understand the weight of that, the FDA does not grant this status easily. They reserve it for therapies that show real clinical evidence of being game changers for serious or life-threatening conditions. China built something that Americans had to officially acknowledge. What this signals, 10 years ago, no one would have described China as a global leader in neurotechnology. The field was dominated by American and European institutions. Elon Musk's Neuralink attracted billions in investment and global attention. As of mid-2024, it had 2 implanted patients. The Fudan team completed 4 surgeries between January and March 2025 at 2 different hospitals, with consistent results across all cases, using a minimally invasive approach that reduces surgical risk and recovery time. According to the 2024 Nature Index, China now ranks second in the world in health sciences research output, behind only the United States, and the gap keeps narrowing. Professor Jia is already talking about what comes next: fine motor control of the fingers, cervical-level injuries, those that take away arm function, not just leg function. The system applied upwards, not just downward.